Living the diamond life is not impossible.
Crown Diamond Chairman's Club member, Rick Jordan.
Annyeonghaseyo! Sawadee Kap! Good morning! It's great to be here. Everybody stand up. Stand up. I want you to, the person next to you, I want you to say hello. Then the person on the other side, say hello. The person in front of you or the person behind you, say hello. Now, guess who you just introduced yourself to? Those of you in the audience just introduced yourself to a future diamond. You see, I can remember when Kun Jo in Thailand in 2001, 2002 was doing presentations and was sitting in an audience just like you. I can remember when Alexander and Daniel in Germany were sitting in an audience just like you. I can remember when Philip Song, Stefan, and Bettina were sitting in an audience just like you before they were diamonds. In fact, I can remember when Mr. Park was sitting in an audience in Korea just like you. You see, it's my belief that God desires all of us to achieve our dreams, our good dreams. He wants you to become a diamond. And we need to treat everybody as if they are a diamond because they are. You see, we recognized people walking up the stage. The diamond stood up here on this stage to recognize. But guess what? It is Stuart's vision, it is my vision, and it is our vision that each one of you can become a diamond. Now, what I want to do is just take a couple of minutes and share with you my road, what I did to achieve diamond. Number one, I think it's important to understand my DMO, my daily method of operation. You see, when I got started, I was very active in my insurance business. It's been in my family for 100 years. I was not going to walk away. So I had very limited time. And because I had such limited time, I had to make the best use of it. And so what I did was I looked at the activities that I needed to do to produce the best results. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. My daily activity. Now, a few months ago, my lovely wife Lori and I had the rare and unique privilege on August 21st to see a solar eclipse. It was the first time in 99 years that the solar eclipse was passing across the United States. Now, before the eclipse, I learned a little bit about astronomy. I learned this. Number one, that the sun is 400 times larger than the moon. But the sun is also 400 times farther away than the moon. And as a result of that geometry, they look the same size in the sky. And so even though you have a very small object, comparatively speaking, as the moon, it can obscure the brightness of the sun. Now, guess what happened during that eclipse? What happened was the temperature went down 11 degrees Celsius. Birds stopped chirping. The stars came out. It was an amazing experience to be in that zone of totality. But just like the moon can obscure the sun, There are some things that we do in our life that can obscure the big picture. You see, if you took a bicycle tire, a normal bicycle tire, and the size of that bicycle tire, that rim, and then that's the size of the sun, and then you take the size of the moon, it's just a very small pebble. And yet, just like in the eclipse, it can obscure the brightness of the sun, certain activities can obscure what we're doing and what we're trying to accomplish. In order for us to see the wonderful eclipse, Lori and I had to wear protective eyewear. This is eyewear that is special so that we could see the amazing experience. Now, this eye protection is for what? It's to protect us from the harmful rays of what the sun can project during the process of the eclipse. I'm going to share with you some key elements so that you can wear the protective eye protection and achieve your dreams, your goals, and the desires of your heart. Number one, it is critical to know the activities that will make you money. What is that activity? It's prospecting. We get paid to prospect. Now, in a few weeks, in the United States, we're going to have a very big football game. It's called the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl will spend, or on the advertisers of the Super Bowl, it'll be some of the most expensive advertising time on TV. Why is it so expensive? It's because of the reach. As Kuhn Raza said earlier today, that if just one person talks to, or if 10,000 people talk one person a day, the amazing elements of what will take place. Now, what my goal was to talk to 2 people every day. I had 1 hour a day to build this business. And so what I did is I took that hour to make sure that I prospected 2 people every single day. Now, it's my encouragement that if you have 2 hours, you ought to talk to 4 people. If you have 3 hours, you ought to talk to 6 people, and so on. So for every hour of every day that you're working our business, you should be talking to at least 2 people every day. And guess what will happen? You will double the results of what Kuhn Raza talked about if you talk about 2 people a day. Now, because of my insurance background, I like statistics. And in fact, when I was getting my master's degree in insurance and risk, I had to take several statistical classes. And I learned this rule, the rule of large numbers. If I talk to 2 people every day, I would talk to 14 people in a week. I would talk to 60 people in a month, and I would talk to 720 people in a year. Now, if you talk to 720 people in the course of the next 365 days, do you think you could find 3 partners? Do you think you could find 5 partners? Do you think you could find a multiple of people that would like to join you, whether it be in the business or using our products? Now, let's say if you find 5 partners that go out and do the same thing. Look at how those numbers improve. And then you get 5 more partners. Now, in this scenario, how many people do you have working? You have 31 people working, and yet let's look at the total exposure that will take place in your business if you just talk to 2 people every day. Now, if you had 22,000 plus exposures of people that were interested or finding out if they're interested in our business or our products, do you think you could become a diamond? And that's only with 31 committed partners. It's what we call the rule of large numbers in statistics. Now, goals, your dreams, and then the accomplishment of your goals and your dreams. There is a bridge, there is a road from your goals to your accomplishment. And what is that? At our PCM meeting the other day, Todd Smith devoted 45 minutes to this one subject. It's called discipline. Now, let me tell you an experience that I had. After about 6 weeks of working this business, contacting 2 people every day, I had not missed a day. I was committed to that process. But one night I was laying in bed, and I was thinking about my day's activities, and I realized I forgot to make those 2 phone calls. Now, what would most people do? They would sit there and say, well, gosh, I'll just make 4 tomorrow. I'll skip today. Instead of doing 2 today, I'll make 4 tomorrow. Make up the difference. Everything will be the same. But you see, I realized that the consistency was the magic of the process. And so I got up out of bed. I went down into my office. It was 10:30 at night. I looked at my prospect list. I called 2 people. They both agreed to meet with me. In fact, when I met with them, they were so surprised that I was calling them at 10:30. They were so interested in what I had to do and what I was presenting to them. They said, gosh, I knew if you were calling me at 10:30, it must be important. So you know what I decided to do? Make all my calls at 10:30 at night. No, not really. But you have to use discipline to get to where you want to be. Now, not only does discipline critical to your success, and what is the definition of discipline? It's what Todd Smith has said, doing the things you know you should do, even when you don't feel like doing them. Now, let me give you another example. My good friend, the diamond from Switzerland, Stefan Unger, the boxer. When I was with him in September, we were talking about what he needed to do to revitalize his business. And so he agreed that he would talk to 2 people every day and that he was going to text me every day what his activity level was. You see, that's called return and report. That's called accountability. So important for your partners to be accountable. So he was texting me every day what his activities were. And he was consistent, and he did it every day. What's amazing is one day he actually texted me, and he said it was very hard today. I talked to a lot of people, and it was just hard to make that invitation, but I did it. I made those 2 contacts, but it was hard. So I sent him back a message, and I said to him, I said, having a hard day is good because it helps you to appreciate the good days. And he went on and continued that process. How many people do you think Stefan sponsored in the month of September? 8 people. I asked him, how long has it been since you sponsored 8 people, Stefan? He said, the first couple of months in my business. You see, contacting 2 a day, having discipline to do it every single day is almost magical. Another important feature is use the unicity bonuses to build your business. Number 1, it's easier to build your business faster than it is to build your business slower. My very first month in the business, I became a senior director. In the first few months, I became a presidential director. And so building your business fast is so important because people want to be a part of something exciting, something that's moving and so forth. They don't want to be involved with something that's kind of slow, do they? No, they want to be part of something exciting, and that's what happens when you build it fast. Proof of income, my wife says, belief turns to knowledge when the check clears the bank. And that's really true. You see, that proof of income is important for you and your personal belief, but people want to see what's taking place in your life and how income has helped you. Now, 3 important concepts. Until you're Sapphire, which is basically 100,000 points, until you're Sapphire, you get paid to do 2 things. And if you do anything else other than those 2 things, you're doing it for free. What are those 2 things? Number 1, prospecting. And number 2, teaching others how to prospect. That's what you get paid to do. Until you reach Sapphire, Remember that. If you do anything else, you're doing it for free. Now, I didn't get involved in this business to do it for free. I got involved in this business to make some money, to provide a different lifestyle than I had running my insurance agency. That was my dream. So, remember that. Now, once you reach Sapphire, and until you get to Diamond, you get paid to do 3 things. What are those 3 things? Number 1, prospect. Number 2, teach others to prospect. And then provide training and support for your team. So those 3 things. And you want to divide your activities 50-50. Prospecting, teach others to prospect, 50%. And then the other training and support, the other 50%. Now, once you reach Diamond, you get paid mainly to support an organization, to support your team. Why? Because of leverage. You have so many people that you can affect as you teach and train. But you should spend 10% of your time at least in personal prospecting. In fact, I asked Jenny Park when we were in India in November, because I noticed that he was communicating with his translator. He ended up enrolling and sponsoring his translator in India. But last year, Jenny Park sponsored 40 people. Here he is, Royal Crown Diamond, doing the things I just told you that you need to be doing. He's following that game plan. Now, what one person can do, another person can do. Just like you, at the beginning, we introduced each other to you as you were shaking hands, that they can become diamonds just like we have. What I've done, you can do. Now, I was talking to Stuart just yesterday, telling him about what was taking place at this conference. And he was very interested. And when we were talking about 10,000 diamonds, he said he heard a faint noise coming from Hong Kong. And I'm sure, I haven't talked to him this morning, but I'm sure this morning he heard when Dr. Majdi was talking, 10,000 diamonds, I am one. I'm sure he heard that. But do you think we can make it a little louder and really believe it right here? Because you see, one of the things that I have learned, you can learn knowledge in your mind, but until it gets deep in your heart, it will not move you to the extent that it needs to take you to achieve your dreams and your goals. Because being a diamond, as simple as it is, which it is very simple, it's very hard to do. Why? Because it takes discipline. And it's the joy, and it's the journey that we take as we proceed to become a presidential director. Sapphire, ruby, and then diamond, and then beyond. It's the process that makes us so unique. We can't just look at the destination and say, once I reach there, this is amazing. It's who we become as we follow the road to become a diamond. Now, do you think that we can stand up and have Stuart Hughes hear the message of being 10,000 diamonds? 10,000, let's stand up, stand up. Out of your seats, stand up. 10,000 diamonds. Now, do you think he heard it? Did you say that with your mind, or did you say that with your mind and heart? 10,000 diamonds? 10,000 diamonds! 10,000 diamonds! Todd Smith, I can't hear you. 10,000 diamonds! 10,000 diamonds! Let's treat everybody as a diamond, because you really are a diamond. Thank you.